Also in this very city, Oscar De La Hoya came of age when he soundly defeated Mexican's legendary Julio Cesar Chavez. Tonight, De La Hoya faces a man who now claims that he is the best fighter in Mexico, Miguel Angel Gonzalez, for the Super Lightweight Championship of the world. For Pride and Country is being brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By AT&T, your true choice. It's Saturday night in Las Vegas, a city running at full throttle right now, as you can hear and see. But we're about to reach the pinnacle of this weekend, certainly for fight fans who have come to see whether a legend in the making can derail yet another obstacle on his bullet train ride toward greatness. Hello again. Welcome back to Las Vegas for the main event. Oscar De La Hoya against Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Two men with perfect records they both desperately want to hold on to and build on. De La Hoya is a champion at 140 pounds. Gonzalez gave his title up at a lower weight and is gunning for another one tonight, namely Oscar's, a guy he has wanted badly. Gonzalez is proud, he's confident, and he knows this is his defining moment. His job, though, is to topple a guy some call the most magnetic presence in boxing. Oscar De La Hoya last fought over 7 months ago when he melted down an icon, Julio Cesar Chavez. This is De La Hoya's final fight at this weight. Looming ahead, as we've talked about, is Pernell Whitaker at 147 pounds this spring. But now, on this dead of winter January night, De La Hoya knows he has to deal with a guy who's also done nothing but win. We're about to find out who this night really belongs to. And so let's go ringside for the main event with George Foreman, Larry Merchant, and Jim Lampley for the blow-by-blow.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. Yes, you're quite accurate in saying Miguel Angel Gonzalez is confident. How could he be otherwise? 63 amateur fights. He won 62 of them, losing only by decision to a Korean in the Olympic final at Seoul, South Korea. As a professional, 41-0. But George Foreman, he's never been in the main event on a big pay-per-view card like this. He's never experienced the atmosphere of an event like this the way De La Hoya has. This has become the norm in Oscar's career. How big an advantage for De La Hoya?
A great advantage. Of course, you got to be careful when you put a cat into a corner. He'll scratch, and I mean scratch big. This guy is out of his elements, and he knows he's out of the elements. And he's got nothing to do now but to go out there and fight. But Oscar's got no doubt an advantage tonight. This is his arena. How much match?
Gonzalez bringing in for this fight Emmanuel Stewart to improve his training situation, or so he sees it. It's a little odd to bring in a new trainer before the biggest fight of your career. Larry Merchant, you said earlier, though, that a strong case could be made that Miguel Angel Gonzalez is the best opponent so far in De La Hoya's career. So make that case.
Yes, sir. The case is this. Gonzalez is an undefeated fighter from a chilly hot Mexican fight culture, which means at the very least that he has great ambition, great dedication, great will, and probably at least some skills. Second, he is a very well-schooled offensive fighter. Third, a victory here tonight would make him a great man in Mexico. How much more incentive do you need than that? And fourth, he is an undefeated fighter in the prime of his career, fighting at his best weight for now. That's relative to tonight's fight because De La Hoya, however formidable and however brilliant he's been coming up to now, has had his biggest victories over fighters who were past their primes, like Chavez and Molina, or perhaps fighters who have had to move up in weight where he was just too strong for them, like Hernandez. That's the case for Gonzalez, the challenger, and if he wins or pulls an upset or makes a great fight out of it, I don't think it's an accident.
Well, it's no accident also that Oscar De La Hoya, the Mexican-American, once again must face a native Mexican to defend his pride and his honor, and before he does, the national anthems from both nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. In the ring at this time is the Honor Guard from Nellis Air Force Base, located right outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. And also in the ring at this time, two very special guests. First, a lovely young lady who will sing the Mexican national anthem. She is Tatiana Bolaños.
Mexicano salido de guerra, del acero a prestar y el bidón, y de siempre su centro en la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y de siempre su centro en la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Señor patria, tú tienes de olivo, de la paz del arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios se escribió. Pasos y un extraño enemigo, profanar con sus plantas su suelo, siendo patria querida del cielo, un soldado en cada hijo de Dios, un soldado en cada hijo de Dios. Mexicano salido de guerra, el acero a prestar y el bidón, y de siempre su centro en la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y de siempre su centro en la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México!
Tatiana Bolaños.
Tatiana Bolaños. Anybody want to follow that act?
No.
Whoa!
Being sung by a man who performs for the Motown Moments here in Las Vegas, currently at the Motown Cafe, Mr. Sherman James.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet waves? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tale of the tape for Oscar De La Hoya against Miguel Angel Gonzalez. And you can see that both are relatively tall for the 140-pound weight class. De La Hoya with only a half-inch height advantage here, as opposed to the long height advantage he's enjoyed against most of his previous opponents. Only a 1-inch reach advantage. Larry?
And many people in his camp are nervous about this fight because they say he's having as much trouble making this weight as at the start of his career he had making 130 pounds, for whatever that's worth.
Punch stat numbers.
Here we have a profile of the average fight of these two fighters and how they proceed offensively. You can see Gonzalez throws more punches. De La Hoya, as he's learned to balance offense and defense, is throwing fewer punches and landing a higher percentage. Now you're seeing what they do on defense. Both of them appear to be very good defensive fighters. The numbers on De La Hoya, both his offense and his defense, the widest plus-minus rating of any fighter we have ever tracked.
In other words, he hits more and gets hit less in return than any other guy. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Oscar de la Hoya Miguel Angel Gonzalez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you can be saved by the bell in a 12th and final round only. Jim.
Miguel Angel Gonzalez enters to music that underlines and reinforces his Mexican heritage. His performance against Lamar Murphy in August of 1995 was seen by his handlers as good reason to leave the 135-pound weight division and move up to 140.
We should point out he has a reputation for being a very slow-starting fighter, which probably is connected to the fact that he seems to be a young man of high intelligence who tries to figure out his opponents before he goes earnestly to work.
Regular trainer Abel Sanchez follows Miguel Angel Gonzalez into the ring, and Emmanuel Stewart, recent addition to the group, steps in through the ropes as well. And as we mentioned to you in building up to this fight, Miguel Angel Gonzalez, 41 wins, no losses, no draws, 31 KOs. Add that to his 63 amateur fights with only 1 loss. He's won 103 out of 104. Records of the fighters tonight being brought to you by The Ring, the Bible of boxing. Oscar de la Hoya.
I believe that inactivity has been good for De La Hoya, because after a highly charged, highly emotional fight with his idol Julio Cesar Chavez, I think he needed a layoff before he got back into the ring. That takes a lot out of a fighter emotionally and mentally as well as physically. All the preparation, all the thinking about it, all the working toward it.
But that wasn't the reason for the layoff. It was to allow for the repair of a damaged shoulder. And it may be because of that damaged shoulder and the speculation about it that the odds have been dropping on the fight. There's been a lot of late Gonzalez money, and it's now down to 4-1 De La Hoya from an original 11-1 or so. Oscar De La Hoya's record as a professional fighter, 22-0, 20 KOs, a recent string of victories by knockout against terrific fighters. And let's go up to Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, presents 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Lorenzo Fertitta, Luther Mack, and Dr. James Nave. Executive Director Mark Ratner. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Homansky, Dr. Robert Voy, Dr. William Berliner, and Dr. Margaret Goodman. The timekeepers are Al Bicyk and James Cavan. This contest is also sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, President at ringside, Jose Suleiman. Supervisor in attendance, Hector Garcia. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system are Anek Hamtongkam, John Keane, and Bob Logis. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance here in Las Vegas and the millions watching around the world, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. By way of the site where legends are made, Caesar's Palace. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! In the blue corner, wearing black, trimmed with gold, weighing 140 pounds, he brings a professional record of 41 victories without a loss, including 31 knockouts and a world title to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, from Mexico City, Mexico, here is the #1 ranked challenger in the world, former lightweight world champion, the undefeated Miguel Angel Gonzalez. And across the ring, in the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red and blue, also weighing 140 pounds. In 1992, he captured Olympic gold, and now as a professional, he has a perfect record of 22 victories without a defeat, 20 by knockout, and 3 world titles to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, here is the pride of East LA, presenting the 3-time world champion and reigning undefeated super lightweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya.
Gentlemen, we've already been through the instruction in the dressing room one time. I expect a tough, clean fight, but check yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger?
No.
The champion? Let's get it on!
Nobody says it better than Mills Lane. Let's get it on.
If De La Hoya is too powerful for Gonzalez, as he has been for most of his opponents, this could be quick. You've already heard Larry tell you that Gonzalez is a notoriously slow starter. De La Hoya's fight plan in return is to, quote, attack him like a dog and pressure him from the get-go. And once again, as has been the case in so many recent fights, De La Hoya somehow looks bigger and stronger than a man who weighed in at the same weight. Oscar feinting with the right hand and sticking the left jab. No offense from Gonzalez so far. Throws the left out lazily. Now he fires the jab. First punch from Gonzalez. De La Hoya on the button with those 2 jabs, and the second one snapped Gonzalez's head back. De La Hoya missed with the left hook. George, I'm just not sure Gonzalez looks ready.
Well, Oscar De La Hoya, of course, is a quick starter. He knows that if you mix those jabs up, he added that to his repertoire about 2 years ago. A stiff jab, get a guy wondering about it, and then come on top with the right hand.
The first thing you notice about Gonzalez is that his head sits still. He doesn't move his head very much.
And that's bad news against a power puncher, and right now, Oscar is using that to pile up points with the left jab. Gonzalez starts to fire his own jabs. So far, he's been content to let Oscar set the pace. They trade jabs at center ring. Oscar lands a left hook. De La Hoya with this measured punch output. Not throwing as many punches as he did earlier in his career, but trying to make each punch count more.
Well, if he can get Gonzalez to throwing jabs with him, it'll be a long night for Gonzalez.
Mills Lane is going to tell Gonzalez not to throw low blows. That's one warning. Why would it be a long night for Gonzalez if he throws the jab, George?
If he starts trying to match jabs with Oscar De La Hoya, his face will get swollen. And Oscar De La Hoya's got the better because he's educated himself well with a left jab.
Right hand for De La Hoya, right past the guard of Gonzalez. Left hook stuns Gonzalez. De La Hoya sharp from the get-go. Again, De La Hoya blocks with his own right hand and lands his left hook. Gonzalez getting swamped in the first round by the De La Hoya assault. All those Gonzalez bettors better wonder why it looks like this for the beginning. They gotta hope their man warms up. A punch after the bell by Gonzalez, and De La Hoya just kind of stared at him as if to say, how dare you. As we go to the corners, where you hear Spanish being spoken, our interpreter is Ray Torres.
Ándale. Así, estira los pies. Okay. Está bien. Are you okay now? Is everything all right? Páralo. Go ahead and stop him. Páralo. Stop him. Bien, páralo. Stop him. Y le pinta su recto. Páralo. Paint him and then throw that right hand. ¿Está bien cómo está haciendo? Muy bien. Okay.
De La Hoya looked like he could knock over a building with his straight left jab, and that set up these hooks later in the round.
Jabs in round one by punch stat count. De La Hoya threw 42, landed 30. It was a jab clinic in round one. Gonzalez obviously wants to start faster in the second round.
What Gonzalez has to do is he going to get De La Hoya discouraged, make him miss with those jabs, get that head moving.
Right hand lead across the top by De La Hoya, and he clocks Gonzalez with that one. Gonzalez starting to loosen up offensively, starting to land a little bit, but De La Hoya is finding some opportunities to counter.
De La Hoya goes in real effective with a good stiff left hand. Then he gets this guy waiting on it, and he throws a quick right hand lead.
There's a jab for Gonzalez. Steps in and tries to land an uppercut. De La Hoya misses with the counter in return.
But that was good for Gonzalez. For the first time, he made Oscar De La Hoya do something he had not intended to do. Throw a right hand that was not intended to be thrown. And that's what you want to do with the young fighters. Make them do what they did not intend to do.
Another good thing Gonzalez has begun to do here in the second round is to go to the body. He was all upstairs in the first round, didn't accomplish anything, but he's landed a couple of shots to De La Hoya's ribcage here in round two. Right hand off the top of De La Hoya's head. Gonzalez's offense heating up. The slow start seemingly over with, and now Oscar has something entirely different to deal with.
Oscar evidently is trying to work on getting a right hand in now, just to find him with the right hand, so he's keeping his left low. Not trying to start anything with his jab at all.
De La Hoya cautious here in round two, paying a lot of respect to Gonzalez. Gonzalez able to sneak in a little quick left hook. Say this for Miguel Angel Gonzalez. He seemed outclassed in round one. He's begun to find the target in round two, but now here comes De La Hoya with combinations again.
Seldom you see a young fighter, once a guy drops his hand and showboat on him, De La Hoya hit him in the stomach.
De La Hoya lands the left hook. And this is a pro De La Hoya crowd. We have not always seen that here in Vegas.
And I've never seen De La Hoya do this kind of an act.
Where you want a corner now to kind of steady him and tell him to cut it out. Go back to what got you here.
Left hook to the body by De La Hoya, and he punctuates the round with a vicious left hook upstairs.
Very good. You're doing very good. Okay? Stay alert. Okay, listen very good. You're catching the punches very well, but you've got to stay alert. That's all you got is about 3 more rounds, okay? But you're doing very good considering everything, okay? Just stay alert all the time.
You got to be alert.
Whenever you shoot your punch, okay? Okay?
Once again, the left hand of Oscar De La Hoya. The left hand is his best hand, but he fights in a conventional side. Later in the round, the big hook. Every fight we see De La Hoya in, he's a little better in something. I have never seen him thunder that jab the way he is tonight.
Now Gonzalez steps out in round 3 and begins to step up the level of his own jab, firing the jab with much more aggression than was the case in round 1. Almost as though Gonzalez needed the entire first round to warm up and get ready to fight. Oscar De La Hoya, by punch stat computations, has landed more than 60% of his punches in the first 2 rounds. But now it's Gonzalez who's throwing more. And the Gonzalez contingent in the crowd begins to make its presence felt.
Well, if you're going to be throwing a good stiff left jab, you don't want to move on your legs too much, because that's where all of that stiffness comes from, in the legs.
De La Hoya blocking Gonzalez's left hook with his right elbow, missed the counter in return. Short with the right hand there, short with the jab.
Good body punch by Gonzalez. And you know, I've always said about Oscar De La Hoya, the one thing in his armor that was bad, he never tries to win fights on points. He's always trying to set up a knockout. Sooner or later, someone is going to be around there ahead of points.
Well, particularly if they can get to his body enough to take away some of the power in the early rounds, and Gonzalez is starting to do some damage. Good left hook by Gonzalez under De La Hoya's chin. And another one. And Gonzalez starting to lead with the left hook to good effect.
Yeah, because Oscar standing back trying to get his left jab started rather than moving around. If you're going to move, move. If you're not, keep your head moving. Move your legs or your hands.
So as Gonzalez becomes the aggressor, dispenses with the jab, and throws power punch leads, he starts to get effective. But now De La Hoya lands a left and a right.
You always tell the fighters, move on your legs. If you're not going to move those legs, keep that head moving at all times. De La Hoya was moving his legs, then he stopped moving his head.
And Gonzalez has started to beat De La Hoya to the punch at long range. Didn't look in the first round as though he'd have any chance of doing that. Now De La Hoya goes back to the jab, and Gonzalez answers confidently. So Miguel Angel Gonzalez begins to fight as though the first round was an aberration, and he's got some stuff that can challenge De La Hoya.
But the one thing, De La Hoya is a puncher, and you don't want to follow a puncher around the ring. You don't want to do that.
As we were saying, Gonzalez,
You gotta feint him?
Fight.
Okay. Mueve siempre la cintura.
All right, now you got to move your weight.
Y bien parado, bien perfilado.
Yes.
Y le entran todos los jabs.
Use your jabs because the jabs are getting in, and jab and cross. You need to start throwing the uppercut. Go in the middle.
Muy bien. Deep breath.
Move real well.
In the last 2 rounds, Gonzalez has been able to throw more punches than De La Hoya. Not landing at as high a rate, but throwing many more punches. And no fighter in a while has been able to do that. Let's see what De La Hoya does to adjust now and try to find the opportunities that Gonzalez has to give him to be aggressive.
Yeah, De La Hoya goes right to the left hook to the body because his trainer told him, now get in there, get in the middle of him, and get that left hook in there.
Harold Letterman, how you got it?
Jim, 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Oscar De La Hoya. He hit Miguel Gonzalez so hard in the first 2 rounds, you had to see Gonzalez's head snap back, but the 3rd round, Gonzalez observed it.
De La Hoya landing 2 left hooks there as he chases Gonzalez across the ring, and a straight left, and a busting left hook that swiveled Gonzalez's head.
De La Hoya is good, and he knows how to do so many things. Sometimes that can confuse you more than anything because you don't know one thing to do. You got to stick to your left jab and do everything from the left jab.
Good right hand to the body by Gonzalez. He misses with the left uppercut. A couple of people had questioned Gonzalez's chin off what he's shown in these first 4 rounds. You certainly can't do that.
A guy who's undefeated doesn't think he can lose. And that makes his chin stronger.
De La Hoya's jab continues, an awesome weapon. 3 straight solid connects, snapping Gonzalez's head back. And Gonzalez answers in kind. Low blow by Gonzalez, and Mills Lane says keep it up.
That's the 2nd time Lane has spoken to Gonzalez.
De La Hoya backing into the ropes.
Time. Look. You go down there again to the cross the point. Come on.
Well, make it 2.5 warnings.
Get off that net. Come on.
Gonzalez lost 2 points to low blows in that Lamar Murphy fight back at 135 pounds, August 19, 1995.
It's hard to believe, but De La Hoya can win this thing just by using his left jab.
Hey.
Gonzalez hits on the break. Still no point deduction by Mills Lane. At least 3 solid fouls by Gonzalez. De La Hoya, unruffled, fires the left hook and lands. De La Hoya just missed over the top of the right hand after jabbing twice and landing the left hook. Gonzalez still taking everything well and coming back. 10 seconds left in this round. Well, already Gonzalez has lasted longer than Julio Cesar Chavez did.
Only punch he's landing is the jab, okay? Move your head. These are moving more, okay? That's your only problem. No more. Yeah, no more low blows, okay? Be careful. Okay? But your only problem, you're getting hit with 1 punch. The jab. You're making him miss the left hook and the right hand mostly. The jab. So more head, okay? More your head movement, okay? You're not moving your head enough. You're going to just move your head.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart telling Gonzalez to move his head, and this is the reason why. As we noted earlier, very early start in the fight, he keeps his head standing up there looking to get hit. Not unusual for Mexican fighters who are very offensive-minded. But already I think he is showing that he is the most formidable fighter that De La Hoya has fought to date.
Small mouse under the right eye of Miguel Angel Gonzalez. That's no big surprise. Oscar tattooing him with the jab through 4 rounds. He landed 25 of 31 jabs by punch count numbers in round number 4.
One thing about getting caught on the top of the head with those left jabs, after a while it affects your backbone. I've been hit a few times and your back go out. It's not that you're being hurt, but something happens along the spine.
Not only have you felt it, George, your jab has done it to a lot of opponents. De La Hoya blocking the right hand to the body with his elbows. He's done a pretty good job of that, although Gonzalez has gotten to the body a few times, particularly in round 3.
De La Hoya's got to reestablish the dominance of the left jab and just slide to the side with it and let that right hand just develop by itself.
And you saw Gonzalez taking advantage of the chance to get in about 4 more body blows as they hugged at center ring. Gonzalez, totally the aggressor in this round, comes twice with the uppercut, gives De La Hoya a chance to land the left hook, and Oscar clocks him. And another left hook. And another. And De La Hoya thinks he's hurt Gonzalez. Goes to the body and comes back with a combination, and Gonzalez goes to the body in return. Furious action in round 5. Another solid left hook, and Gonzalez is backed off of his stance. Oscar De La Hoya following his plan to attack like a dog. And all that conspires to slow Gonzalez's aggression down. But still he keeps punching.
Well, this is like running wind sprints. After you throw that many punches like De La Hoya did, you take a breather, but you got to be careful that you're out of range to take that breather.
Gonzalez landing the straight left jab there, something that hasn't been all that easy for him to do. De La Hoya was staying in close quarters and not throwing punches.
He's sprinting himself out and he's trying to recuperate, and that's what happened when you're in good shape. You can recuperate, but you got to make sure you've got distance.
This is the kind of fight that a lot of fans thought Chavez would give to De La Hoya. He's getting it 7 months later.
Gonzalez is bringing out the best in De La Hoya to this point.
All right. He needs to come in as soon as he gives you an opportunity, you feint him and then hit him in the uppercut. That's the best shot. You make sure you pick him up with that uppercut. Feint him. Let me talk.
¿Qué dice Chuck? Me está confundiendo a él. Dígale que no hable. Dígale.
Here you will see the flurry of De La Hoya in that round with his amazingly quick hands. The big right followed by the left, putting Gonzalez on the defensive.
De La Hoya has taken some shots, but his face so far unmarked. We've shown you the mouse under the right eye of Miguel Angel Gonzalez, round 6 of a scheduled 12. Once again in that round, Gonzalez throwing many, many more punches than De La Hoya. De La Hoya landing at an extraordinarily high rate. Harold Letterman, you see something in what De La Hoya is doing that is affected by the rules?
Jim, absolutely. Oscar De La Hoya measures you. He sticks that left glove out, he opens it up, and then he whacks you with a right hand, and he does it a lot. And a lot of referees won't allow that. You can't open a glove. He holds it out, he pushes Gonzalez off, and then he whacks him with the right hand. And he's done it more than once.
George, you think Mills Lane is something of a laissez-faire referee, lets a lot of things go in the ring?
I don't think so, because Oscar's not touching him with that open hand. He's more or less keeping it out there. As long as your hand is out there, it's part of your body.
Another flurry of left by De La Hoya, 2 jabs and a left hook. Another good show of tough chin by Miguel Angel Gonzalez. And Gonzalez again takes advantage at close quarters to whack De La Hoya, and Mills has to talk about it again. Still no deduction. Gonzalez not quite as aggressive now as he was in the last couple of rounds. Maybe because he's been made to pay so frequently. De La Hoya content to avoid Gonzalez and look for a chance to land another big shot. Good combination by Gonzalez. He takes a better one in return from De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya stands on the ball of his feet, and he rides those things like a quarterback in the pocket, and he comes back with his eyes wide open.
And when he throws the left hook, George, he does it with murder in his heart.
Every punch, bad intentions.
This is why he has to take, when he throws a lot of punches, he takes a big rest in between there because it's like sprinting. It takes a lot out of you to throw that much power.
Another sensational left hook.
I'm here behind the head. Here we go. Come on.
Gonzalez's pace has slowed in this round. De La Hoya has countered him at every opportunity.
Now, the effect of that jab, it made him move his body back. I've seen it happen. I've felt it happen. Those jabs can just affect your spine and make you fall backwards if you're not careful.
Oh, what a left hook. What a chin Gonzalez has. That punch has knocked out most De La Hoya opponents.
Right now, he's taking apart a good fighter like a jeweler taking apart a good watch.
Don't jab at him first. You understand? No jab first. You know jab. Make him, he jab first, okay? Because after you're jabbing, he's picking it and then he's jabbing your back, okay? Make him jab first primero, okay? Keep your head moving. All you can do is move your head more, okay? More head movement, okay?
Folks, these are the kind of punches that are a visual textbook. Later in the round.
There we go. Second out. Go, Manny.
That's a punch from the front seat. Going after it. Putting everything into it.
I don't know if we've ever seen a fighter against an excellent, unbeaten opponent like Gonzalez go through 6 rounds, landing 67% of his punches. But that's what De La Hoya has done, according to punch stat computation.
Against a fighter who, up to now, has been landing 25% of his, allowed his opponents to land 25%.
Exactly.
Now here you see De La Hoya with his glove open, but I think it's hard for the referee to see that all the time.
Good overhand right.
Good right hand by Gonzalez.
The first one tonight, because De La Hoya started to play around a little too much. Sometimes, and he's turning his fighting until now, it's called trap fighting. You let the guy have a jab, you let him have a right to the body, and then the next time he tries either one, you go over top. And sometimes you can get caught into your own trap.
Well, De La Hoya went a little left-hand happy in the last round, and obviously Gonzalez either was told or decided, I can throw right-hand counters over that. And he landed a big one.
Well, when you're a trap fighter, you allow the guy to throw a punch, but you don't intend for him to have that much power at this stage of the fight.
By a trap fighter, George, you mean like a baseball hitter looking for his pitch, just waiting for one particular pitch to knock out of the ballpark.
That's right.
But De La Hoya landed another good left hook in close.
But it has to happen behind one shot that the guy has confidence in. Allow him to do something that he's comfortable in and then make him pay for it. Setting trap.
Oh, good right hand body shot and a left hook upstairs by De La Hoya. Just textbook stuff, as Larry has been pointing out.
And Oscar's doing a good job of it. He steps back and then he circles. Make 2 steps and then circle.
Get him up. Come on, Oscar. Okay, Oscar, that's down low. Come on, get him up. Let's go. Here we go.
That's 2-1 on warnings on low blows if you're counting.
Another left hook backs up Gonzalez. De La Hoya hasn't been able to bring blood from that right eye yet. You remember how easily he cut Chavez with a jab in the first round. Good uppercut. Gonzalez tries it again. He was open there for a right hand, but De La Hoya let it go by. And now Mills Lane is going to deduct a point.
Yeah, he's right this time. He's given him every opportunity to be a good guy, and he has
He
not.
could have done it before very easily. So that's 1 point gone from Gonzalez's scorecards.
Sometimes when you want to work that left jab, you got to kind of put it to your waist a little bit just to draw the guy in. But you got to make sure that you're pretty alert to his right hand.
Another flurry of power punches by De La Hoya. Another left hook inside, lands flush. Gonzalez comes back. But if there was any doubt about who won the round, Oscar settled it in the last 10 seconds.
All right, it's very well.
Después de dos jabs,
After
arriba,
2 jabs on the top,
abajo, le mete la derecha.
feint and a right hand to the body.
Mete los dos jabs arriba. Te inclinas todo lo que puedas.
2 jabs on the top, and then go ahead and bend over and make sure you throw that straight right hand.
Me confunde.
You're going to confuse
Dos
them.
jabs arriba.
Make sure the jabs are on top.
Pum, lo pintas y clava a la derecha. Recta. Píntelo primero, la pinte primero. No lo espere tanto, ¿ok?
You go ahead and face him. Don't wait for him.
69% now.
Let's go. Okay, baby. Come on.
4 or 5 fights ago, I don't think De La Hoya would be ready for this Gonzalez. A year and a half later, he appears to be ready for anyone.
Round 8 of the schedule 12. De La Hoya's WBC Junior Welterweight Championship at stake. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Jim, 69-63, 6 rounds to 1, Oscar De La Hoya. The only round I've given Gonzalez is the 3rd. He lost the point in the 7th round for rabbit punching, but that was just an accumulation of fouls. Mills then got tired of it, and he took that point for rabbit punching. Most of the time, Gonzalez was hitting low.
I have the same score.
Now, Oscar, once again, is taking a little breather. He's a sprinter. He throws power punches, and he throws them quick, and you got to take a break, and that's what he's doing. You know, because Oscar's got so much respect for Gonzalez, he's probably going to give him an unnecessary beating. If he had not such respect, he would have knocked him out already, but he figures I better save something no matter what.
Well, I don't know. Gonzalez has taken so much, George. His chin is awfully good, obviously.
But
You don't mean that he's carrying him, George?
No, not in the back of his mind. He's thinking, you know, I'm going to save something in case this guy comes back.
So you're saying that Gonzalez has showed enough of him that he's not going to spend himself on one big, long rally.
And if it's because of the respect factor.
De La Hoya landing 2 more left hooks. The one about 20 seconds ago was another that might have finished most of his previous opponents.
Yeah, because he's been listening to the propaganda about this guy is a good fighter. He's undefeated. He's the best. You don't just go to sleep and say, that means nothing to me.
De La Hoya is always kind of sparing with the right hand. He's never been a real frequent right hand puncher because he has so much confidence in his left jab and his left hook. But some observers are now suggesting to us at ringside that maybe Oscar's hand or shoulder is hurt because he's throwing the right so infrequently. Let's keep an eye on that, George. Of course, when you're this good with the left hand, you might just hold it back in reserve.
Now he's dropping his hands to set those traps again. Makes 2 steps back and circles around, and this guy seems to follow him right into the trap.
Now he's throwing right hands. I think the right hand is fine. I think he's just doing so much damage with the left, he's sticking with it.
Now he step back, he jabs, and then he fakes like he's going to throw a jab and doesn't tell him what may come, a left hook or a right hand.
This round has been another boxing clinic for De La Hoya as Gonzalez has once again slowed the pace. And Miguel Angel is not doing any damage to Oscar, who is piling up points with the left jab and the left hook. Gonzalez's punches seemingly slowing down just a little bit, George.
De La Hoya is such a student of boxing. He's wanting to learn something all the time.
and there you see the great, the legendary Willie Pep, brought here because Jesus Rivera, the trainer of De La Hoya, has used him as a model for De La Hoya. That doesn't mean that De La Hoya is trying to fight like Pep. What he is trying to learn about Pep is how to stay in control, how to use your intelligence in the ring as well as your fists.
And when you get to meet these guys, it brings a little extra confidence to you that they would be associated with you and not the other guy.
Watch the ice.
Believe me, De La Hoya has thrown his best shots early on, and he knows this guy's going to be around unless he catches him with a hard right hand when he...
Oscar De La Hoya has scored late knockouts before. He knocked out John Avila in the 9th, Jimmy Bredal in the 10th, so he's still thinking a knockout is possible as we get to the 9th of a scheduled 12. Miguel Angel Gonzalez, it would appear to our eyes, ought to be so far behind on points that he needs a knockout to have a chance to win the fight.
And I think he's fighting like that. It goes back to what George said earlier. He's looking to set some kind of a trap to land a punch that can change the fight around.
De La Hoya is like, I dare you to throw your right hand.
Emmanuel Stewart was quoted.
Now it's about time that the referee warns him about that hand, the left hand out there. You're right, Harold. It's time to get warning now.
And also, you know, a welt is raised under De La Hoya's left eye. So apparently, Gonzalez has landed some of those rights. There's a slight welt by his right eye, I believe.
Left eye.
Left eye.
And it would come from the right-hand leads, which were Gonzalez's most effective punches in those moments when he's done well. And Gonzalez becoming the aggressor again, and his fans in the crowd rise to the occasion to try to build support for him.
De La Hoya is dangerously dropping that left hand for whatever reason, I don't know. He's carrying it low. You got to bring it up to stop the shot, and you got to bring it up to throw the punch. So you need to just keep it up for a while.
George, maybe he's tired from throwing it so much.
No doubt about it.
And that left eye is swelling pretty rapidly now for Oscar De La Hoya. So this is one of the bigger challenges that's ever faced him in the ring, as the left eye begins to swell and may conceivably affect his vision in the last 3 rounds of the bout. Meanwhile, he stiffens Gonzalez with the left and backs him up again.
That's what happens when you have a good fighter and you play around and let him in and off the hook. It comes back to haunt you.
If you're scoring and you're looking for a round...
That's overhand right.
If you're scoring and you're looking for a round to get to Gonzalez, this is your best chance in quite some time.
Right, since the 3rd round.
Gonzalez missing with that overhand right. De La Hoya cautious as round 9 comes to a close. Miguel Angel has chased him around the ring and been the aggressor in this round. And De La Hoya tries to finish with one big left hook, but misses by a fraction of an inch.
Are you tired?
Don't worry about it. When Oscar goes out, you gotta keep the glove closed, okay? Tell me relax. I know what the fuck I'm doing, okay?
He's gonna quit. He's gonna quit on you.
All right.
Go ahead and move that waist.
Watch that right hand, yeah.
Here's the Gonzalez right hand that has been marking up De La Hoya for perhaps the first time in the fight in his career. And you heard during the round referee Mills Lane tell the corner of De La Hoya to make him stop fighting with an open glove, as Harold Letterman pointed out earlier in the fight.
And you saw the punch stat numbers for round 9 that had Miguel Angel Gonzalez doubling De La Hoya's punch output. Oscar landed just as many, but the judges are likely to be impressed by the degree to which Gonzalez was the aggressor in that frame.
Yeah, De La Hoya is going to have to establish more than the left jab to keep this guy off of him. He's going to have to come with some combinations and make him stop. Then he can move.
Part of the crowd beginning to boo as it appears De La Hoya is coasting and sitting on his lead.
Either that or he's trying to trap Gonzalez, just like that.
That's why I said it's dangerous to follow a puncher, because anything he hits you with can drop you. So when you follow him, you better have some punches on him at all times.
It's abundantly clear, George, that Oscar wants to land the big left hook and get that eye back to the dressing room. Gonzalez still working in there. De La Hoya being cautious, looking to land one big shot.
All De La Hoya has to do is to pick his left hand up. Pick your left hand up, as Tony should tell him. Because nothing happens with the left hook.
This is going to be another round in which Gonzalez will have a much higher punch output than De La Hoya. And Oscar better hope that that lead on the scorecards is pretty safe, because the momentum of the fight is changing. And De La Hoya is allowing it to change. Or maybe he's trying to impress Willie Pep, who once won a round without throwing a punch, right?
Correct.
But this is a fight you're going to have to throw a punch to win.
Yeah.
Not only throw a punch, but you're going to have to keep this guy off of you. He has a devastating right hand, Gonzalez does.
You want to be careful not to play too cozy with the scorecards anywhere in the world, but a lot of people would say particularly here.
Why do we think that De La Hoya is doing this?
De La Hoya is having some difficulty out of that left eye, and he's tired. He's sprinted with some hard shots. He's not been able to knock this guy down, and he's trying to save himself for the last round.
So even though he was landing that jackhammer jab almost at will through most of the fight and winning the fight with it, suddenly he stops throwing it and starts to do this.
You win that round too, okay? You'll be the new world champion. Just 2 more rounds, baby, okay? Just keep the pressure on him. When you get close, drop a short 1-2, okay? Short, man under ratio. Short though, okay? Short right, get closer, drop the right hand short. But you're winning the fight now. Keep the pressure on, okay? Okay. Keep the pressure.
Relax, relax.
Keep punching with the uppercut. Keep boxing the way you're doing. When you stop, make sure you cross. Throw the right hand.
¿Qué pasa los perros? ¿Lo vas a atacar? A perrar bien. ¿Lo vas a atacar? Aguanta. Ya que lo pares bien, lo atacas. Le pegas y lo empujas. Pero ¿cómo te sientes, Sam?
Round 10 was another one in which Oscar De La Hoya was very sparing in his use of the right hand. You heard his corner telling him to go ahead and throw the right.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 10 rounds?
Larry, 97-92, 7 rounds to 3, Oscar De La Hoya. What I'm saying is that Miguel Gonzalez would either need sensational rounds or a knockout to win this fight, because De La Hoya is 5 points ahead, including the point that Mills Lane took off in the 7th round for rabbit punching.
We're on the same page here, Harold. I don't know where I've gone wrong.
De La Hoya's face is swelling so rapidly, George, that you wonder if maybe there's a broken bone in there.
Yeah, you wonder about that, but I said earlier that if you use a stiff left jab, you can't use your legs, you'll just get tired. You got to take a choice, one or the other.
I just think, Jim, we're unused to seeing him marked up. I just think he's got a swollen cheekbone. I wouldn't think he has anything broken in there.
Well, he's much more swollen now than Then is Gonzalez, and it's all happened within the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Well, you're right there. He's often talked about not wanting to walk around with cuts and bruises like a real fighter. Tonight,
he looks like a real fighter.
And he'll look like that for a few weeks.
And his jab is getting awful slow. Oscar hasn't the confidence now to step in because he's figuring his guy might counter him with a right hand. But you got to keep it up. This isn't a pretty game. Don't try to look pretty.
All right, I hear what you're saying, George, and I think you might have put your finger on it, that he doesn't want to get hit by that right hand on the cheekbone, and that's why he's not throwing as many lefts as he was before.
Not throwing as many of anything. And interestingly, Emmanuel Stewart elected to tell his fighter, Miguel Angel Gonzalez, between rounds, that he was winning the fight. I'm not sure that I would have done that.
Get off that neck, come on.
It's not an easy thing for a fighter who's never been hurt in the ring or marked up for it to happen. You got to make up your mind that, hey, this is the business I'm in, and let's go.
This is going to raise a lot of questions about De La Hoya as he goes into the Whitaker fight in April, if in fact Whitaker can get past Hurtado next week, and if in fact De La Hoya gets the victory here.
And I think the adversity is really good for De La Hoya. Now he's gone through it. He knows what it's all about, and he's doing a good job with it.
Why is Gonzalez throwing so few punches in this round, George?
Oscar De La Hoya, even when he touches you a little bit, he has hands like there are bricks in there. It hurts. You go and miss him, and he makes you pay.
De La Hoya finishing the round strongly. 3 more minutes to go.
Aquí. Páralo. Don't worry about it. Everything is perfect. The last round, Manny. Last round, Miguel. Last round. Got the shit all over this time.
This round would probably win the fight. You understand?
Vamos, You have to be first, though. First. Usted tiene que hacer la ambientación. No lo esperes el último.
You gotta be first. You can't wait. The last round coming up.
Muy bien. Entonces boxea.
Keep boxing and
Second zone. Pero no importa. Asegúralo. Dale una madriza.
Go ahead and beat him up.
Gonzalez told
Finish
us
the
he
fight.
would dance to whatever song that De La Hoya sings, meaning he would fight him according to the way De La Hoya fought him. Right now, he's the one that has to sing the song.
De La Hoya suddenly aggressive again in the 12th.
He's not aggressive. He's actually boxing, and the guy's running right into the punching power.
All right. Come on.
3 judges seated at ringside. 1 from Bangkok, Thailand, 1 from London, England, 1 from London, Belgium. WBC judges. This is the organization which has produced, among many other controversial decisions, the infamous draw between Pernell Whitaker and Julio Cesar Chavez in San Antonio, September 21, 1993.
We saw Oscar De La Hoya turn southpaw for a second. He said he would do it against Chavez, and now he's doing it tonight.
Much of the crowd booing De La Hoya now as they perceive that he's trying to run away from Gonzalez and protect himself.
Time. Take another point off. Take a point off.
That could damage Gonzalez dramatically. And another left hook by De La Hoya. Well, if Gonzalez had any chance to win the fight on the scorecard, it was just damaged severely by the second point deduction by Mills Lane. And De La Hoya is finding the target again. He looks like a fighter in every way now. Not just the face, but the fists as well.
He knows how to close the show, George.
Does he not? He did this against Molina, too. When a lot of the skeptics thought Molina could take him in a decision, he tore him up in the 12th round. He's doing it again to Gonzalez tonight.
He's learned every trick in the book, and he's had to use them tonight. No doubt he would not have been able to survive without his tricks. Gonzalez had heart and a good right hand.
De La Hoya fighting with what I personally suspect could turn out to be a broken cheekbone.
Which, if true, would certainly delay any fight with Whitaker.
And showing some grit in the 12th.
Gonzalez appears to have accepted his fate. He wants to finish the fight. He doesn't want to leave himself open to be stopped.
Here comes the 10-second signal. Here comes another De La Hoya rally as he attempts to finish the fight with a big toe. Will he throw one more left hook?
All he needs is one good combination.
Said, gentlemen, this was his most formidable opponent. I don't know if he's going to get the credit that he deserves for doing this to a real fighter.
Harold Letterman, how did you score it?
Jim, 117, 109, 9 rounds to 3. Oscar De La Hoya. He gets an extra point in the 12th round because Mills Lane pulled one for hitting on a break. He gets an extra point in the 7th round for the rabbit punching. He's 6 points ahead because of these 6 rounds that he won by. So 117, 109, decisive for Oscar De La Hoya.
I'm willing to bet you that none of the 3 official judges' scorecards will be that one-sided.
I'd like to see it.
Just a wild guess. We'll see. WBC Chairman Jose Suleiman seated at ringside, observing now as his 3 judges get ready to deliver the verdict on the fight. You heard Emmanuel Stewart talking to his fighter as though he believed Gonzalez was headed for victory. Let's go to Michael Buffer to find out who won.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Caesar's Palace here in Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. Bob Logis scores the bout 117 to 111. John Keane scores it 117 to 110. And Anek Hongtongkam scores it 117 to 109 for the winner. And still, WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
Final punch stat numbers will reflect the amazing accuracy of Oscar De La Hoya, who in 12 rounds lands 64% of his punches. Gonzalez with a huge accomplishment, outthrowing De La Hoya by 175 punches. This is a guy who had been limiting opponents to an output of only 26 punches per round coming in. So what an effort by Gonzalez, but an easy victory by De La Hoya. And really, this is the category that made the difference, George. 212 out of 319 jabs, 66%.
And we saw it all. It kept him out of trouble. It saved him from time to time, and it kept his opponent mixed up.
Another good lesson on why it's the best weapon to have in a boxing ring, right?
Without a left jab, is going to be a hard career.
Scores, just in case you didn't catch them: 117, 111, 117, 110, 117, 19, or 109 for the third judge, just like Harold Letterman, so I lose that bet. Unanimous decision for De La Hoya, and Larry Merchant is with Oscar in the ring.
Thank you very much, Jim. Oscar, congratulations. Did you hurt a hand during this fight?
Well, you know what, actually, I mean, my thumb was a little sore, but it wasn't no big deal. I mean, I was prepared for this fight. I told everyone, this guy's a tough guy. I mean, he has a chin. He's undefeated, 41-0, and I give this guy a lot of credit.
What about your cheek? You know you have a bruise there. Did it hinder you in any way?
Oh, yes, he popped me with a beautiful right hand, and I felt it when he, I saw it coming when he connected it, and I knew I had to get away from it, but hey, that's boxing.
I mean, did it hurt? Is it seriously bruised? Could you feel it? Because it seemed for a while you weren't throwing that great jab, and it seemed because you didn't want to get popped by that right again.
Exactly. After like the maybe 8th, 9th, 10th round, I was worried that he was going to throw that right hand again, but we were being very careful. We tried to box this guy as much as possible, and it worked.
I've been saying that he is your most formidable opponent in terms of being in his prime, being undefeated, being at the proper weight. What did he bring out in you, do you think, tonight?
Well, hold on, Chuck, it's tight. I believe what he brought out of me was more boxing movement, to throw my more jabs, and I was being effective with that jab, and that was the key for my success tonight, and it worked. I mean, Miguel Gonzalez is a very formidable opponent, and I feel that this guy, I mean, was no slouch.
All right, this is your last fight at 140. You're moving up at 147, fighting the fighter next. If he wins his next fight, many regard as the best welterweight in the world. Right. What are your thoughts about fighting the great Pernell Whitaker?
Well, now I can focus on Pernell Whitaker. I mean, of course, I was focusing for Miguel Angel Gonzalez. It was very tough to focus on him, but now I can really focus on Pernell Whitaker. He's next. He's the best pound for pound in the world, and it's going to be a very interesting fight. He's a southpaw. He's very difficult, and I feel that it's going to be a very entertaining fight for that night.
Thank you very much for a terrific performance once again, Oscar De La Hoya. Jim?
All right, thanks very much, Larry Merchant, and once again, let's turn to George Foreman for a final comment on De La Hoya. Given what you saw tonight, how about the audacity of this choice? He gets ready to move up to 147 pounds, and for his first fight in that weight class, he takes on the guy who for most of the last 10 years has been regarded as the best fighter pound for pound in the world, Pernell Whitaker.
But he said earlier he could focus now on Pernell Whitaker. I think it was difficult tonight because he had to focus on Gonzalez and Whitaker. I got to get past this. I can't lose. I got to look good. And now he can just narrow things down to Whitaker, and I think it's going to be better because of it now.
What about Oscar's very conventional attack, coming in behind the jab, depending on the jab and the left hook, against a southpaw Whitaker?
Whitaker, as far as I'm concerned, he's like an alligator out there. I don't know how you trap an alligator. This guy's got every trick in the book, and then I think he's getting ready to write a few more tricks. If anyone can whip him, it's Oscar De La Hoya. If at all anyone can whip him.
Well, it would be interesting to see if, in fact, the bout takes place. Whitaker has to get past Diobeles Hurtado next week, the 24th in Atlantic City. Let's go back to Larry in the ring with the loser, Miguel Angel Gonzalez.
Miguel Angel, thank you very much for a terrific effort. Tell us your view of what happened in the ring tonight.
Bueno, yo siento que estuve enfrente de un peleador muy rápido. Creo que no pude cortar su jab muy rápido, me molestó mucho. Me sentía prácticamente pues lento, se puede decir, en cuanto a cintura. No le pude cortar la distancia.
Yeah, I feel I was in front of a fast, good fighter tonight, and I couldn't cope with his jab. He was just too much tonight, and I wasn't really what I thought I would be in, the conditions that I would be in.
You have fought some very good fighters. You've seen some great fighters. Give us the view of a prize fighter who has been in the ring about Oscar De La Hoya and what kind of a fighter he is and how difficult he is to fight.
Tú has mirado buenos boxeadores, conoces a muchos peleadores buenos, hay muchos peleadores buenos, pero dinos tú, ¿cómo es Oscar De La Hoya como un peleador bueno?
Bueno, es un peleador fuerte.
He's a strong
Siento
fighter.
que no tanto su pegada.
Not his
Creo que
power.
Es un peleador muy certero.
But he's very
rápido, es lo que
strong and fast.
Controla uno.
And he's very accurate in his punches.
Siento que fue una buena pelea.
It was a good fight.
Creo que gustó.
It delighted the fans.
Así es el boxeo.
And that's what boxing is all about.
This
time it was his.
And we can all assume that you're happy that he's moving up to the welterweight division.
Y todos pensamos que te va a gustar, te va a deleitar, que él se va a dejar las 140 libras, va para las 147. ¿Cómo te cae eso?
No, quisiera demostrarle que soy mejor peleador. Desgraciadamente esa noche, voy a repetirlo, fue mejor él. Me gustaría la revancha, creo que a él también le gustó esta pelea. La va a analizar, va a aprender mucho de esta pelea y deseémosle buena suerte en el futuro.
I wish him the best in the future. It was a good fight. I still like to get a rematch with him to show that I'm the best, but he's a good fighter.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Larry Merchant, thank you. And as we see tonight, a Miguel Angel Gonzalez, a beaten fighter, but a guy with a granite jaw who never stopped trying to find the cracks in Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya, with a rivet gun of a jab, set the tone, as everybody saw. Didn't use his right a lot, but we saw that he knew how to hit and he knew how to hurt. He was hit before, but I thought Gonzalez, of course, soaked up some savage shots and was still standing at the end of this. Once again, another learning process for Oscar De La Hoya. He is a work in progress, and people have to remember that. But so far, most of the brush strokes have landed in all the right places, and so have the punches. That's the story from Las Vegas tonight. For Pride and Country has been brought to you by Beechwood Age Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By AT&T, your true choice. By MoneyGram, it gives you more for your money. And Speed Stick by Menon.